You can't even outdress my Labubu. The infamous bar from Lizzo that it just sets the tone for this video. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Slicky Campbell, and today we are going to talk about Labubus, mystery boxes, soft gambling, and the history of these soft gambling techniques that companies are using more and more every day to get us to buy stuff, and why I think especially women are going to be the new target for the gambling industry because the men are going to lose all their money in the next 5 to 10 years. And when I say soft gambling, that's kind of a term I just made up. It's almost like when you go and engage in some kind of activity that has the undertones of gambling that might even set off your brain in a way that this is gambling and this is something I need to keep doing, because gambling is an addiction. So it definitely has some neurological patterns in people that do this all the time or consistently. And companies love to hide the fact that you are partaking in gambling. It has such a negative connotation. But before all that, we have to get into the history of what I like to call soft gambling. And that is none other than Cracker Jacks. Yes, that hard popcorn nut concoction that your great grandma probably ate. But yeah, back in the late 1800s, Cracker Jacks hit the shelves, and it was a way to have a treat, but also have some sort of prize. And it kind of hit any kind of age range. Obviously, it was more aimed towards kids, but this was kids' first introduction to gambling. Even though there wasn't any kind of collectible sheet, and maybe there were in some Cracker Jacks, was there a chase that they were going for, which I'll put up here what a chase means, because that's going to be probably used a bunch of times. I'll put any terms up on the screen somewhere. But in social circles, whether at schools or clubs or meetings with other kids, they probably had this one toy that they wanted, so they would all probably try to go for this toy, whether it be like a figurine, a piece of gum, whatever it is that was popular in the 1800s. Even though I'm old, I'm not that old. So when society evolves from Cracker Jacks, we get into other things like cereal prizes. I don't know if you all ever had the Kellogg cereals that had prizes in them sometimes, or you can mail stuff to get prizes and stuff like that. And then you had things like McDonald's Happy Meals, where you would go and see a list of like toys that you could get, and you always really wanted one. Even me today, I was really wanted those little Hello Kitty San Marino Yu-Gi-Oh things, because I love Yu-Gi-Oh, and I had to get all of them. So me, as a 28-year-old, asking the McDonald's worker to, hey, can you please give me this one because I don't have it? Was it embarrassing? No. Did she look at me fucking crazy? Absolutely yes. So with this newfound knowledge of the made-up term I made up, soft gambling, I want you to think about a time where you kind of participated in that without knowing. Like, what was the first time as a kid? Because we've all kind of been exposed to this, I feel like, at this point. And for me, it was definitely Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards for me, even up to this day, was a form of gambling that I was slowly being introduced to when I needed an EX card, when I wanted a full art card. Like, that was something that really established this like gambling kind of mindset. Like, oh, if I just buy $100 booster boxes, or I buy these tins or this or that. Or I used to love to buy the tins because they at least would have one of those cards in it. I was trying to hedge my bets because I wasn't making money at the time. So for me, it was Pokemon card. It was in video games when I was playing like Madden Mobile or NBA 2K, where you had to pull cards and you had to spend actual money to get these cards. I was spending hundreds of dollars of my like sandwich shop check to try to get a LeBron James or a Dwayne Wade, or I remember there being a bowl card that I wanted so bad in like 2K16 or 17 whenever he got drafted, but that's besides the point. But even like arcades and stuff, they have this like, especially claw machines, they have this like gambling undertone where it's like you could win 1,000 tickets, you can win 2,000 tickets and stuff like that, and it's already like kind of grooming us for this gambling world that we are going to enter as adults. And even when I worked at Target, I really saw these undertones, and even in some like girl toys or toys marketed to girls, like the LOL dolls, they had some kind of like chase on them, because I always saw like a doll with like a little question mark on it. Every franchise has these little keychains now where you can open it I even have one on mine from like a Demon Slayer one. But like every franchise is kind of getting into this mystery box thing, and I've seen it when I was working at the toys section, electronics section at Target, like just this really big undertone in gambling. So comment down below your first introduction to gambling, being in America or anywhere else, honestly. Like I feel like there is always that undertone of gambling in society, and it always gets pushed to us even as kids. And even fashion, and especially streetwear, has had this undertone of gambling with their own mystery boxes. There'll be consignment stores that do $50 mystery boxes, $200 mystery boxes. On eBay, on eBay, I would see mystery boxes for $2,000, $5,000 with the possible chance of getting some kind of shoe that you could maybe even resell. And like it was always like you could get your value back. You could get your value back. You could get your value back. If I haven't emphasized could as much as I can, that's what I'm trying to emphasize. So we've already seen like gambling in the fashion industry when it comes to the smaller stores. I don't think we've seen anything crazy with like major fashion labels, but with streetwear stores, we've seen this like undertone of like, hey, you could possibly get a really nice shoe that's worth a lot of money, but you still have to pay a lot, kind of. Like $2,000 is a lot of money. And when I first saw Labubus, I thought I was going to make a video about like the fashion implications of Labubus and kind of talk about how they're like accessorized and stuff like that. But as creators have made them more popular because, you know, they're trying to find one that they like. They'll all, like, whenever you see a video about a Labubu, it's like, okay, I want this one or this one. It's not necessarily a chase, but then there's like, I don't want this one and don't want this one. And the ones that get a lot of reactions are the ones where they're like, oh, I got the one I hate.
I'll be happy with any of them except that fuck-ass Christmas tree. Anything but the Christmas tree. Oh, who is you? We're going back in. We're going back inside. What are the odds that I get to see?
And that's how I became familiar with the one creator, Vanilla
Mace.
Or Vanilla
Vanilla
Ice?
Mace. Vanilla
Ice?
Mace.
It could just be Vanilla. But it seemed like she really popped off and had this viral moment when she was like, had this emotional reaction, and everyone started buying these Labubus. And that is the really interesting thing about Labubus, is that there's an undertone of gambling, because like you can get this viral moment and then like these people, they want you to keep buying more to get the one that you want, and like you post the ones that you don't want, and like it's this weird like, haha, like we're supporting you because you keep flopping, you're like, we're laughing at you, ha 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 ha. But then there's the fact that they're like $30 to $40, and you know, you're not guaranteed the one you want all the time, and it's like you spent $400 and you finally got the little plushie that you want. Like, so it's this weird combination of trying to get a viral moment, because everything we do is so performative now that we post on social media. It's like, oh, we have to show the new Labubu we got. I've seen people where they put like 20 Labubus on a purse, so it's like, okay, I'm just buying and buying and buying, which obviously you can just buy these things singularly. You could probably buy them off eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and that eliminates the gambling. The combination of having a viral moment and, you know, kind of giving up a lot of money to buy these Labubus creates a lot of interactions and a lot of formations going on in your brain, being like, you keep needing to do this, you need to do this, because again, gambling is an addiction. It's not just like, or gambling isn't just going to the poker table or literally sports betting, which has ruined so many men's lives, so many families' lives. Pop Mart has got a flipping bag off of this. And when I mean bag, they are worth over $1 billion at this point. They got a storefront on Michigan Avenue in Chicago when I was there a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago. Like, that's crazy. They're on the same street as the Pradas, the Aritzias, just these stores, the Burberry, like US storefront. They're on that same store. That's how much money they're bringing in. And when I see all the videos, it's very like cutesied up. It's like, oh, I got this. But like, what happens when Pop Mart releases another one, and then another company releases something, and then other fashion brands start to see this, like, wait, they're making billions of dollars off pretty much these like girls specifically. I don't see that many guys getting Labubu, but these girls specifically buying these plushies. And these like keychain accessories are so popular right now. That's why I was gonna make a video about it first, because just like having this, you know, accessory on a bag or your keychain or something is just so popular right now that it's not going away anytime soon. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Balenciaga keychain, you know, buy it like you would there, but it's like, instead of $50, it's $250. Buy your Burberry plushy horse or whatever. It's like $400. It's like, okay, that's when it starts getting really bad. And you can ask any person that's worked at like a casino or anything. It's like the first time you do that, you better get the hell out. The first time you win, you better get out and never go back.
Run away and never return.
And you see it on TikTok all the time. These people that are leaving, babies in their car to go gamble. There's, gambling addiction ruins people. And maybe I'm taking this too far out of, I don't want to be like worrisome. I think you can buy a Labubu, but if you've ever had a problem with like sports gambling or any kind of mystery box or, any kind of gambling where you get like really almost like it feels like you're doing a drug, then yeah, I would just be very cognizant of that because it can lead to much more things. And I can go on and on about how sports gambling has just kind of ruined so many families' lives. If you work at a corporate job, you 100% know that people are spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on gambling. The corporate job I worked at, every other week there was a pool to gamble on something, whether it be the Kentucky Derby, whether it be March Madness, whether it be the Super Bowl. Like any chance they could gamble, they were getting the chance to gamble. For that, it's more about like a financial success. Like, oh, if I hit big on this parlay, which a parlay is just when you stack a bunch of bets on top of each other and you bet on them as a whole, and it increases your odds. So it's more bang for your buck, but you're betting on 10 different things. And I don't, that's a whole different type of gambling than buying a Labubu. But what happens when these accessories become much more of a social status? Like when other brands start getting involved, or the Chase Labubu becomes so much more rare. When you get it, you could possibly get a viral video. Like there's so many creators on YouTube that pull an NBA 2K pack, or they pull a Madden pack, especially like 5 or 6 years ago when the games were actually like playable still. And that was a viral moment for them on YouTube. Like you could label it, oh, I got the craziest chase out of this digital pack. Mind you, digital pack, that would give them 100,000 views. And it's like, okay, if I do this and record it, I can get that same money, because it's money at that point. I just think the Labubu trend is gonna catch a lot of people's eyes, a lot of companies' eyes, and they see that Pop Mart is $1 billion corporation now, and other companies are gonna want a little piece of the cake for sure. Like, why not? So you're gonna see other brands be like, oh, here's our list of collectibles and this is the most rare one. And if you get a chase card, like say for Pokemon cards, if you get a collectible, you could sell that too. So I don't know what the Labubu market is right now. I don't know if there is a chase that goes for extremely much more than like the normal ones at the, because there's odds to it. The chase has lower odds to be pulled out of the bag rather than the normal ones that are already shown on the packaging or whatever. So when a like sustained like brand does it and it's like, hey, this chase is actually going to go for $5,000, you like, please sell it to us. Like, it's just being more aware of these things. Like Pop Mart knows what they're doing. They saw that and they see that like these videos gain traction, so it's like, let me pull this and start a following. When I see so many women doing content creation, doing lifestyle vlogs, and it's like you pull a Labubu once a week, that's gonna catch up, especially if you're not getting your stuff monetized. It's just like it's what the gambling industry views all of us as. It's like, okay, we're about to drain men out of all their money, so we need more people to gamble. Okay, children or women. Okay, well, approaching children, we've already done that with arcades and stuff, and we can't actually directly tell them to gamble, so let's get the woman involved. And that's kind of what this feels like. It's like, how do we make this more aligned with women and how they interact with things like accessories for bags and clothing items, and how it's gonna happen. Like, there's gonna be more of these mystery boxes, especially in the fashion world, where you want to keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling before you've run out of money, and you're like using your credit card to buy 10 mystery boxes for X clothes or X this, and it's sad, unfortunately, that we don't have any regulations on it, because everyone saw sports gambling would just boom their economy. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the gambling industry was upwards close to the $1 trillion. That's why it's been made legal the past like 3 to 5 years, because so much money, so many people gamble You would be shocked if you went to your job and you're just like, how many of these people have that from betting on the Knicks to win the Eastern Conference Finals when they just got like completely destroyed? But just be safe out there, girls. Just when you don't get the Labubu you want, don't get more. Just sit down, put on some TV, and just come to terms that you got the shittiest Labubu. Because coming from a guy that has been targeted with so much gambling, it is not fun when you spend X amount of money on cards or digital cards or like that. But enjoy your Labubus. I bet they are treating you very well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Labubus are gonna ruin the world, ruin women? Or do you think I'm talking about this too much? Leave a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want more videos on the way. Took a little break from posting, needed to regather, but definitely more videos on the way.
Yeah.